Support for NPR comes from the station.
Well, Hometown Heroes is sponsored in part by the Delaware Division of the Arts in partnership with the National Endowment for the Arts. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, they're making it possible to bring to you Mr. Gentle Jones. Hello, Gentle Jones.
Howdy, friends.
It is good to finally have you in studio here on the show. It has been a long time coming.
I'm proud to be here. It's a real pleasure. Thank you, Mark.
Because we were talking off the air before the show, and you were on the show during the era about 4 or 5 years ago when I didn't have in-studio guests thanks to there was some pandemic or something going on at the time. But so
I vaguely remember.
Yeah, I don't remember all the details, but yeah.
The brain fog has shook it loose.
Exactly. But here we see each other in tangible. We're both tangible human beings here, and it's very good to have you here.
I'm proud to be here.
So you've been very prolific over the last couple of years. Like it seems like every couple months you were sending me a brand new single, and lo and behold, many of those singles have wound up on a couple albums that you've released over the last couple of years.
Yeah, well, I say the past 12 months have been my most productive stretch in the last decade. I've got Wonders Beyond Belief, which is available on vinyl now, and I'm performing those songs when I have my personal appearance. And also, I've put together a new project with Paul Woznicki, one of our local wonders, and that's called the Delaware Druids, and that's out there on streaming. And the Delaware Druids project is an improvisational project, pretty psychedelic. Some of the recordings are long form, and I'm really proud with how that came out. And Wonders Beyond Belief is my finest work to date, in my opinion.
Right.
I spent a lot of time on it, and I'm proud with the work I'm doing now. I'm lucky to still be productive.
That's excellent, and it only makes sense. I mean, as musicians go, you know, if you're continuing to hone your craft, whether it's singing or songwriting or music or instruments or all of the above, it only makes sense that, you know, as you go on, your music's going to get better.
Yeah, you learn a little all the time.
Yeah, I would think so.
I've been doing this for decades, and whatever kind of a music career I have, I'm either in the sunset or the twilight of it. So I'm very happy that the muse still speaks to me.
Yeah,
you know,
that's a good way to look at it. So when did Wonders Beyond Belief, when did that come out?
So the vinyl record dropped in April 2024.
Right.
And Druids, Delaware Druids, that'll be on vinyl probably April 2025, just a handful of weeks from now. That's at the Record Factory now getting pressed up.
Okay. And digitally it came out, about a month or so ago?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
I think.
So not quite a month.
Groundhog Day.
Oh, okay.
Groundhog Day.
All right, I like that.
And Wonders Beyond Belief came out last year on Leap Day, February 29th. So technically, it's not a year old yet until 2028
right.
when we have February 29th again. So it's still brand new.
And I don't know if you know the answer to this off the top of your head, but how many albums have you released over the years?
I think this is my 17th.
That's quite a lot.
Yeah.
And are all of these albums still available, or some?
No. There's maybe 9 of them on streaming.
Okay.
Some of them go back in the shoebox where they should have gone in the first place.
Right.
I've got hours of work on streaming. If you go to Spotify or iTunes and look for Gentle Jones,
okay,
you'll see it all.
Excellent. And you're also on Bandcamp.
Yeah, I'm on Bandcamp too. Yeah, so anybody wants to go to Bandcamp and look for Gentle Jones and send me a bunch of money, it's technically available and possible through the magic of the internet.
Indeed. So when I first heard your music, going back in the day, a lot of what you were releasing at that time, or at least that I heard, was more hip-hop leaning.
Well, that's a large part of my body of work is hip-hop, but also a large part of my body of work is new wave, and some of it might even be, reminiscent of vaudeville. I have a broad interest in music in general, and I like to try my hand. And, it wasn't too many decades ago when any recording artist on an album would have a variety of songs. If you listen to, say, a Steve Miller record, there's going to be a dance song, there's going to be a love song,
right.
They're going to have different feels. That was very common when I was growing up, and that's the way that I listen to music, is whatever mood I'm in, I'm putting on a different type of record. It could be jazz, it could be heavy metal, it could be ambient noise.
And you some that I think even sound like Americana. type of sound.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
almost like something like from a Roy Rogers era or something like that.
Well, the fact is, all of what I would consider American vernacular music, the music that ordinary people listen to, for the past 100 years, it's all rhythm and blues to me. Not to be too academic about things, but if you want to say, country music, the gospel music, the earlier spirituals, jazz music, this is all from a rhythm and blues tradition that is an American tradition.
Right.
And across all these genres and subgenres that record companies have codified, there's more in common with all these songs than there are differences. A verse, chorus, a bridge, guitar solo. They're just songs.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, I think. Well, you're kind of going to be looking at songs from your catalog as well as your newer songs tonight, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to do some stuff from Wonders Beyond Belief and another song that I put out over a decade ago. Some things that listeners on your station may have heard but haven't heard me do live in person, but if they see me in concert, they will. And some stuff that's not been on this show before.
All right, I like it. I like it. And a lot of your music, I think, exhibits a kind of a wry sort of sense of humor, and or just kind of, I don't know. It seems like you don't take yourself very seriously at times, too seriously at times.
Well, you have to laugh even at the hard times. And I've had hard times. I was born broker and a buzzer in a boneyard. I had an uncle that drowned in a vat of whiskey.
Wow.
Took him 3 days to die. And it took so long because he kept getting out to use the bathroom. When they cremated him, his body burned for a week.
These are the jokes, folks. These are the jokes. And here I wasn't believing you, of course. Yeah.
It's a true story.
Yeah. Well, I think it's all going to be true stories tonight. So this first one is based on a true story, isn't? Is it not?
The Day I Became a Robot.
The Day I Became a Robot.
Gospel truth.
Anything you want to tell us about that, or do you just want to let the song do the song?
So this was a song is done very well for me. I perform it all the time. It's one of my signature songs now. I originally wrote it with more of almost a Jim Croce, Roger Whittaker type of a feel when I was just writing the lyrics. And my friend Jack Beasley, who did the production on this one, he said it belonged in the future. And so he cooked up something, and together we made it more than what I dreamed.
All right. Well, are you ready to share this one with us?
I'd love to.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Gentle Jones, The Day I Became a Robot. Hometown Heroes on Delaware Public Media.
Do 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 do. The day I became a robot. Do 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 do. The day I became a robot.
When I stopped being human.
Suddenly, everything was easy. The day I became a robot. Robots don't have feelings, and robots don't get lonely. I sit quiet with my thoughts, traded in my human heart for some new computer parts, upgraded all my software too. And I didn't smile again, and I didn't cry again. Then I deleted all my memories of you.
It was a difficult change.
Do 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 do. The day I became a robot. Do 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 do. The day I became a robot.
When I stopped being human.
Certainly, it wasn't all breezy. When I became a robot, some file must be corrupted or some service interrupted. Perhaps my chip is overclocked. Seems everything I do still reminds me of you. What we once had, knowing it was all my fault, I would tear myself apart just to have you back.
Just to have you back.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do. The day I became a robot. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. The day I became a robot. Beep beep beep. Thank you.
Hometown Heroes on Delaware Public Media. That, ladies and gentlemen, was Gentle Jones, The Day I Became a Robot, live in studio. Well, we also have good stuff tonight from my guest, Gentle Jones, and we already heard one live performance from you. And yes, you brought your band with you virtually tonight, electronically, if you will.
That's right.
Now, when you do live performances, do you do some of that live, or do you? When you're live, do you have like a digital band, or do you have a live band with you, or does it vary?
So I have over the years worked with different bands, live musicians. Gentle Jones Show now is a one-man show, and I have built a beatbox into my mic stand,
Okay.
a touch screen, and I can trigger percussion or trigger my tracks. So I control it all from right there on the stage. Yeah, and I've got a hot 45-minute right now. If anybody wants to book Gentle Jones, I'm ready for your bar mitzvahs or seances or anything.
And if they want to, how can they best contact you?
You just find me on Facebook. Just look for me. You
All
can
right.
find me.
Are
You shoot a flare gun in the air, and if you're within 10 miles of Price's Corner, I'll be there.
All right.
Yeah.
And are you the only Gentle Jones out there that you've encountered?
I am the only Gentle Jones.
All right.
And if there is another Gentle Jones, I'm the best Gentle Jones.
All right. Fair enough. We'll do a battle of the Gentle Joneses if whenever.
I hope not.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Yeah.
I think I'm the undisputed Gentle Jones.
I can't dispute it. So I'm
Definitely the best one at Price's Corner.
All right. Yeah. I can't dispute that. And from what I've seen so far, I definitely agree. So, but yeah, we're kind of looking at some like a cross section of your career tonight. Looking at we've already talked about like some of the different genres that you've played. Like, what got you started in this music thing originally?
Oh, well, so actually when I was a kid, my childhood was not entirely remarkable. But at one point when I was really young, for a number of years, my grandma raised me. I lived with her out in Ashton, Idaho, which is a little bitty Mormon town of 1,000 people. It's a town so small you could dial a wrong number and talk for 20 minutes. And I guess I was about 8 years old. I remember, catching butterflies, riding horses, doing real, Tom Sawyer stuff out there. I used to dress up as Zorro a lot. My grandma got some cloth and some black cloth, made me a black cape, made me a mask for my eyes, and I had a little black cowboy hat, and I had a pool cue that I would use like a sword, and I would be out there,
Swashbuckling,
fighting injustice and rescuing damsels in distress. I was pretty sure when I grew up I was going to be Zorro.
Did you do that at all once you grew up? Or?
Well, so a few years later, I actually changed my mind, and I decided when I grow up I'm going to be a Ninja Turtle.
Okay, same vein, I guess. Same vein.
Yeah. When I became an adult, I realized those jobs were already taken.
You mean when you became a robot?
Yeah. Well, that's when I decided to become Price's Corner's finest orator.
All right.
And so here we are. I've been practicing my craft.
All right, very good. And when did you first like record me? Like you said it when we were talking off the air.
So let me tell you, all the way back in the days when I was the towhead Zorro of Idaho,
Yeah.
I had a Panasonic cassette tape player,
Okay.
and I would record skits, and I would sing into that. Also, that was the same year that the Casio SK1 sampling keyboard came out. And I don't know if you remember, but it's just a small little thing. It had a fraction of a second of sampling time. And I actually got that for Christmas. I want to say they were like $85 back then, ran on batteries. And I started working out, little ditties and recording.
You were ahead
all
of
the
your
way
time.
back then. I guess I was. And so I've written and recorded songs ever since then. And I have a musical family that I've come from. My grandma played guitar and sang. My granddad played the fiddle, called square dances, played piano. So I grew up around music.
Are there a lot of square dances in Idaho?
So when I actually was growing up in Idaho, there were some square dances, but we would go to rodeos pretty regular. I don't know if I have time to tell the whole rodeo story, but
Well, we have some time here, so yeah.
so when I was must have been 8 or 9 years old was the first time that I went to a rodeo out there. And it's a family affair. If you've never been to one, there are even things for kids to do. For instance, they have a greased pig. They would slather up a pig with grease and have the kids go chase it. They would tie a little rope around the neck of the pig and put a dollar bill under there and then cut the pig loose, and the kids would go after it. And if you got the dollar bill, you got to keep it. If you caught the pig, you got to keep the pig. That was a big prize.
I imagine.
Also, for the children, you could ride on a calf, which is something that I did, like riding a bull, but they put you on a calf, and you get $1 for that too. So they would say, okay, it's time for the calf riding for the kids, and line up, and you take your turn. And so I got to ride on one of those calves. The guy strapped me in. He ties your hand to a little rope, and they slap the calf on the butt, and it goes bucking up and down everywhere. And I held on for dear life, and I rode it until it petered itself out and it stopped running. And I got off of the calf, and it's standing there calmly, and it walks up to me and it kisses me on my face. And the crowd went nuts. And it was probably one of my proudest moments. And then I went up to the grandstand to collect my dollar, and the grand marshal who was there said, that was some mighty fine riding, son, but I'm sorry to say that we're all out of dollars. Yeah,
Diabolical.
and that's the story of the first time I killed a man.
And deservedly so, I think. Yes. I don't think any jury would convict you of that there. He welched on his promise to you.
Yeah,
Oh,
I had a great time as a kid.
Yeah, sounds like it. Well, let's see. So how do we segue from that into this next song, which album is this off of?
So this song, actually, I wrote just about a decade ago now. This one is called Dreams with Mephistopheles.
Say that name 5 times fast.
It's one of my proudest pieces, and it's a signature piece that I still perform to this day every time I get on stage.
And Mephistopheles, oh boy, my gosh. Mephistopheles is the devil, correct?
It's the Faust legend. So, it is the guy who sells his soul to have it all. And Mephistopheles, is a devil character.
So is this on one of your albums?
Yeah, this is on the album called Blood King.
Okay. And what year was that about?
I believe that's 2016
Okay.
that album came out, but I definitely wrote it the year before.
Okay.
And recorded it in preparation for that one.
All right. So once again, you have your digital band with you.
Yes, I do.
So are you ready, sir?
You're my band tonight, Mark.
Well, I'm your producer, or your engineer, or whatever, your button pusher. So I'm pushing your buttons tonight. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Gentle Jones and Dreams with Mephistopheles, Hometown Heroes on Delaware Public Media.
Sipping moonshine in the moonlight. The night is a paradise. Starlight, I'm mesmerized. Angels around me, quivering energy, everything glistening, shivering in a rhythmic memory, lost in reverie of the heavenly spheres, singing a symphony, revealing miracles, mysteries, the power to scatter my enemies. Voluptuous succubus invites me to lie amongst the buttercups. I taught her how to touch the surface of the sun, huddled Nephilim muttering, when have they discovered me? Hovering comfortably above the slumbering bumblebees. Dreams with Mephistopheles. Thoughts lost atop the trees. When the devil dances with you, you dance until the tune is through. Revolving upon a bubbling cauldron of lava, boggling a growing throng of swamis and brahmin, while a shaman sips laudanum, speaks a spell in Yugoslavian, summoning all manner of monsters, hobbits, and goblins. The moon gets into the whiskey. A few sips and then he's tipsy. He slips upon a tilted stair and like a meteor crashes through the air. Fireflies circle where the lost souls hide. The river daughter slake my thirst with river water. Kiss the wood nymph's lips, she tastes of mandrake. Shift shape and melt into the landscape. Dreams with Mephistopheles. Thoughts lost atop the trees. When the devil dances with you, you dance until the tune is through. Dreams with Mephistopheles. Thoughts lost atop the trees. When the devil dances with you, you dance until the tune is through. Thank you.
All right, Hometown Heroes, Delaware Public Media. That was Gentle Jones, Dreams with Mephistopheles. But I'm going to get that name down tonight.
I'll do the rhymes around here.
Maybe that's for the best. Maybe that's for the best. So. And the Hometown Heroes is sponsored in part by the Delaware Division of the Arts in partnership with the National Endowment for the Arts. And tonight they are indeed bringing us Gentle Jones live from the Delaware Public Media Hometown Heroes studio. So, excellent job, sir. Excellent job.
Thank you.
And there was a lot of things being referenced in that song. I heard hobbits at one point.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. A little fantastic, little Tolkien-esque.
Tolkien-esque. Is that a word? Yeah, I guess it is.
It is now.
Yeah. All right. Were you a reader of fantasy and stuff?
I read a lot.
Oh, okay.
I read a lot.
All right, very good. I guess I know that you read Tolkien and Faust at least. So.
I sure have.
Yeah.
I sure have.
All right, very good. But anyway, my guest tonight is Gentle Jones, and we're going to be we're talking about your music from over the years, and your most recent album, which you just released, is it Delaware Druids or The Delaware Druids?
Delaware Druids.
Okay.
Delaware Druids.
And it's different than your other works because it's more of a collaboration than usual, right?
So absolutely, it's not just a collaboration, it's almost entirely improvised. So I know Paul Woznicki for years. We would end up on bills together where the people like psychedelic music, they're folks that dig that sort of thing, and he is a wizard in that regard. And last year I started going over to his house. The first time I went, he didn't even want to hang out. He was like, let's jam. And we went right into his basement where he's got a whole studio set up. And not only did we jam, he pressed record immediately, and believe it or not, within 12 minutes, we'd improvised 2 songs, one of which made it to the Delaware Druids project. And then so every week or so, we would get together again and invite other musicians, maybe a half a dozen people at the same time. And most of the time, we would not even have a game plan. We would just press record and jam and improvise.
I feel like this could be like a reality show or something.
Well, I think I could make 100 of these records. It was so easy to do. Now, sometimes, Paul might have an idea, or Ron, the guitar player, might have a lick, or I might have a lyric, and I say, let's try this, and then we would just do it right there.
Right.
Like within 15 or 20 minutes, we would just have another song. And after a couple of months, I was like, we got a whole album. Let's put it out. And Woz was like, that sounds great.
So the whole album was made in his basement, huh?
Yeah, for free, which is a price that I love.
Indeed,
the price
indeed.
of everything going up.
Yeah.
We record at home for free. I'm an independent artist. That means no record label,
Right.
no producer, no money. So I'm trying to cut corners wherever I can. So this deal worked out like gangbusters. The price of everything. When you go to Acme in Price's Corner, maybe you've seen this. Now the grapes, they come in bags. It's like 2 pounds in the bag. The bag is sealed. You got to buy the whole bag. It used to be the bag was open and you could just take out one grape.
Not anymore, huh?
And if you were quick, the grape was free. So now you only get those prices if you go through the self-checkout.
Well, so this is, and let me see. In addition to you and Waz, how many other musicians were involved in it?
There's almost a dozen of us all together.
Like, the different sessions would have different musicians
Exactly.
involved.
Yeah. It would be me and Waz are the only two on everything. Some of them is just me and him. But Ron Pacour plays guitar. We've got the Testa brothers, who are a excellent rhythm section. Mel Holden came and played drums on one of the sessions. Bob Daniel played a mandolin, played a couple different type of wood flutes and stuff. He had a bag of instruments, and in the middle of some of these jams, he would just pick up a different one and play. So some of the recordings on this project are 16 minutes long, So it was a really groovy project, but entirely a left turn from the rest of my recorded output, because it was a room full of ninjas, a room full of assassins. It was marvelous.
Musical assassins.
Yeah.
The question is, you're probably wondering, as am I, what does Gentle Jones do?
Magic.
Magic.
All writing is magic. Just think about the foundation of our language. When you write a word, you spell, you S-P-E-L-L, the word. You're casting a spell. When we use our language to communicate, we could tell stories, we conjure worlds, we communicate ideas and philosophies, and this all happens in your head. It happens in between your ears. That is the fundamental function of what magic is. These are ancient traditions, and music is also an ancient magic, and it doesn't have to be metaphysical or supernatural. It's 100% natural, the way that we communicate and celebrate. And music is an ancient magical tradition. The oldest musical notation archaeologists have found is 4,000 years ago written music. The oldest musical instrument we found is a bone flute from 60,000 years ago. And that's not the first one ever made. That's just the oldest one we ever found.
Right.
So we're talking a human tradition that is surely tens of thousands of years old, if not much older than that. How long ago was the first person to clap their hands and sing along? We don't know.
Yeah.
This is ancient magic, and we are broadcasting live over the airwaves, and we're transmitting ideas and concepts and feelings. It's a magical experience.
So are you saying that radio is magic too?
It absolutely is.
All right.
It absolutely is. This 100-year-old magic that we're dipping our toes into right now and broadcasting live into people's ears, right into their hearts and minds.
So you and I are both magicians, is what you're saying.
That's absolutely right. We are creating a world right now with this conversation.
I would have worn my cape tonight had I realized that, you know? I do have a cape, actually.
Good.
Have you ever written any books?
I have never written books. I've written essays and articles. I wrote a column for the News Journal for a couple years about local music.
Okay.
But I write songs. That's what I like to do. That's what I enjoy the most. And I've had a pretty good run so far. I'm still going.
And it is. I mean, just seeing you perform here tonight in the studio, it is evident that you enjoy writing and singing these songs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's nothing I like more.
So, well, we're up to. Why don't you do another one of those if you would for us?
I'd be happy to. This next one is off of Wonders Beyond Belief. This song is called Catfish Vulture.
Anything you want to tell us about this song?
This song says it all.
All right, fair enough. Well then, ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourself. Just sit back, enjoy. This is Gentle Jones and Catfish Vulture. Hometown Heroes on Delaware Public Media.
People be asking what happened with me. People be asking what happened with me. I just been rapping, stacking my beats, upgrade my optics and accuracy. No time for nobody hassling me. There's a thin line between life and death, so I suggest you back up a couple steps. I'm not the guy you're looking for, Predator, Skeletor, with a good credit score. Right outside your house, quiet as a mouse. Somebody should have told you. Listen. People be asking what happened with me. I just been rapping, stacking my beats, upgrade my optics and accuracy. No time for nobody hassling me. There's a thin line between life and death, so I suggest you back up a couple steps. I'm not the guy you're looking for, Predator, Skeletor, with a good credit score. Right outside your house, quiet as a mouse. Somebody should have told you not to run your effing mouth. Berserker Urkel turn into a Ninja Turtle. Spank your ass until it's purple. A wonderful miracle, my rap sheet sparkles. Wanna talk, start a podcast starring Meghan Markle. Probably obnoxious, my name starts arguments, but ask any audience, I'm obviously marvelous. The most awesomest, hit harder than your father, have you gargling cartilage and ancient Archaeopteryx perched atop the Acropolis. My mind is a weapon, I'm armed like an octopus. People be asking what happened with me. I just been rapping, stacking my beats, upgrade my optics and accuracy. No time for nobody hassling me. When the moon is full, I feel the lunar pull. I'm wearing black cause I'm going to your funeral. Some people hate, some people say I'm great. I never moved weight, but I can eyeball an eighth out the upper Piedmont edge of Appalachia. On the Mason-Dixon, but was born in Fort Benning. I was born in the country by the Chattahoochee River, Lord. I was born in Muskogee County, way down in Georgia long ago. Now I'm round the part of town, we got it by the quarter pound. Red Clay Creek, Price's Corners where I'm talking about. Right here, I'm known for getting down. Word is bond, turn it up, turn me loose, I turn them out. Elevating my craft, American vernacular culture is riddled with relics of classism still visible. For instance, let's not forget, Mickey Mouse is essentially a minstrel. Not strictly picking on Disney, but I'm also not whistling Dixie. People be asking what happened with me. I just been rapping, stacking my beats, upgrade my optics and accuracy. No time for nobody hassling me. People be asking what happened with me. I just been rapping, stacking my beats, upgrade my optics and accuracy. No time for nobody hassling me.
Hometown Heroes on Delaware Public Media. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dental Jones, Catfish Vulture.
Thank you.
Excellent, sir.
Thank you.
You covered a lot of ground in that song.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I have to wonder if there are any other songs out there that mention Price's Corner.
Probably the premier Price's Corner troubadour in all of the world is me. I'm probably the only one.
You know what? There might be one other, actually, as I think about it. Todd Chappelle put out a song about 10 years or more ago called I'm from Delaware, where he
I
rattled
remember
off the
that.
name of many, 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 many towns in Delaware. So I bet there might be one other.
He might have.
Yeah. But besides the two of you, probably not.
Yeah. Yeah, we've cornered the market.
And which album again was that one off of?
That's a new one, Wonders Beyond
That
Belief,
is
which you can buy on vinyl
All
right now.
All right, very good. And you're a big fan of vinyl, huh?
Well, it lasts. You know, it's a durable format. I've got a few thousand records at my house that I listen to, my own collection. I think it's the finest way to listen to music.
All right, very good. And you said the new one is going to be on vinyl soon. Right?
Yeah, Delaware Druids will be out probably the first or second week of April. It's being pressed right now. It's in production right now.
It'll be out in time to put in your Easter baskets.
That's right. That's right. And on May the 4th, I will be at the Punk Rock Flea Market in beautiful Newark, Delaware. I should have both those albums available to anybody who wants to come through.
Come through and say hi and take some music home with you.
Absolutely.
Excellent. All right, very good. Well, you're still in luck. There's still one more performance coming up from Gentle Jones before we are done tonight. So that alone is worth sticking around for.
Welcome back to the Gentle Jones program, brought to you by Lucky Strike Cigarettes and Martin's Potato Rolls. We're joined in the studio today with Mark Rogers, who's just written a book called How to Keep Your Pants On During Sex. Welcome to the studio, Mark.
Thank you, Gentle Jones. I appreciate that. You were saying earlier that you were doing a lot of that, I guess, digital media stuff before a lot of other people were, right?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, in the 1900s,
The
late
1900s.
90s.
Oh, the late 1900s. Okay.
The late 1900s,
Yes.
around 1998, I got into streaming. MP3 was a new format. There was a real audio format and some other. It sounded pretty bad, but MP3 sounded pretty good. And mp3.com is where I first started sharing my music online. And I had a song in 1999 called The Cleaners.
The Cleaners.
The Cleaners, which
Okay.
I put out, which is a true story. And that one was, I wouldn't say it was viral because that didn't even exist in 1999. That's more of a modern concept.
Right.
You know, back then, the internet was a little more spread out, not many people on it, but it got tens of thousands of streams. And it raised my profile. A DJ added me to a syndicated radio show that was in 39 states and 3 countries.
That's pretty cool.
I met Mick Boogie, M Boogie from Il Boogie Records. He published the song on a CD called Independent's Finest, which you could find in Borders and Barnes and Nobles. That was my first time ever being in chain stores.
Right.
And from streaming alone, at the time I worked for the University of Delaware, and I think I made, in my regular job, maybe $300 or $400 a week. My first check I got from streaming MP3s in the late 90s was $3,000. So
That's pretty substantial.
way, way more than I was making in my day job. And it was mind-blowing. Now, a lot has changed between now and then. You know,
Copyrights and whatnot.
well, no, just they split up $1 million a lot thinner
Yeah.
than they used to. So now, for example, a couple 3 years ago, I have a song called Borderline, which streamed somewhere in the meta universe on either Instagram or Facebook. It got streamed 14 million times. I made $5. You know, it's actually $5.87. And so now I can get spreadsheets of how many times it was streamed, what country it was streamed, what service they were using, and the payments for each stream is millionths of a penny. The payout, it's like a 7-figure payout, but all the figures are on the other side of the decimal point. You know,
That just doesn't seem right to me.
well, it's probably not, but the fact is that it can happen at all. You know, mailbox money is as sweet as it gets.
Yeah.
So, but getting 1 million ears, it's not something that's impossible these days.
Right.
Whereas 20, 30 years ago, there was no way that you could make music in your house and get it in front of 1,000 people, 10,000 people, 100,000 people. Now you can do that in an hour.
if there's someone listening tonight who's just starting out with music and wants to somehow get their music out to a lot of people, what would you say is the? I mean, sure, you could give them a million pieces of advice, but what would you say? What's the first thing that pops in your head of like a bit of advice to give
So
them?
the first advice that I want to give to everybody that's listening to this broadcast: go start a band with your friends. Go out in your neighborhood with somebody that lives close to you and start a band, jam together, make some music, have a musical experience. Whether you think you're good at it or you have any ideas, just go and sing songs with the people that you love. You know, we said earlier, you know, radio is just 100 years old. It wasn't a commercially broadcasted medium. And just before that time, the piano was a popular fixture. It was very common for people to have a piano in the house, and to entertain ourselves, we would get together around a piano and sing songs together.
Yeah.
And like I said, these are musical traditions. It's not just your grandparents and your great-grandparents. This is thousands and thousands of years old. Go have a musical experience.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Gentle Jones, Hometown Heroes on Delaware Public Media.
You sit there a-crying, riding your beer. You say you've got trouble. My friend, listen here. If you look around you, I'm sure you will find there's folks who've got trouble worse than yours and mine. I'm fresh out of prison, 6 years in a pen. Lost my wife and family, no one to call friend. Don't tell me your trouble, 'cause you're not alone. Be thankful you're living. Drink up and go home.
Yes, baby,
Drink up and go home. Now there stands a blind man, a man who can't see, yet he's not complaining. Why should you or me? Don't tell me your trouble, got enough of my own. Be thankful you're living. Drink up and go home. I'm fresh out of prison, 6 years in a pen. Lost my wife and family, no one to call friend. Don't tell me your trouble, 'cause you're not alone. Be thankful you're living. Drink up and go home.
yes, baby,
Thank you.
Hometown Heroes on Delaware Public Media. Again, ladies and gentlemen, that was Gentle Jones. That was Drink Up and Go Home. And is that on one of your albums?
That's on Wonders Beyond Belief. I'm currently performing that one on stages across the country and overseas.
All right. Very good. Any place we'd know overseas?
Well, I've performed in Carlow, Ireland, and I may be returning there this summer. You know, I've done shows up and down the East Coast and from shore to shore. I've had a great run.
All right.
I'm blood kin to the Gila monster. I can drink my weight in wolf poison and make love to mountain lions.
Is this on your resume?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Mark, for having me here.